You already know that Vaseline is a miracle worker for dry skin. You might even have a jar sitting on your nightstand right now. But here's the thing. If you are using Vaseline by itself, you are only getting half the picture. You see, Vaseline is incredible at locking moisture in, but on its own, it doesn't tighten, it doesn't lift, and it certainly doesn't help with those stubborn dark circles. That is where the coffee comes in. When you introduce caffeine to petroleum jelly, you turn a simple moisturizer into an active firming mask. The caffeine wakes up the blood vessels, depuffing those tired areas, while the Vaseline seals the deal. It is arguably the most effective, low-cost anti-aging duo you can make at home. But, and this is a big but, you can't just throw cold Vaseline and coffee grounds in a bowl and expect miracles. That will just be a gritty mess. There is a specific melting technique we need to use, first to ensure these ingredients actually fuse together. It takes about 2 minutes, but it makes the difference between a mask that works and one that doesn't. So, grab your jar and let me show you how to turn it into something much, much better. Now, before we start mixing, let me briefly explain why this combination is so potent. Because when you understand how it works, you'll understand why we need to be precise. Think of it like this. Coffee is rich in antioxidants and, of course, caffeine. Caffeine is a vasoconstrictor. That is just a fancy way of saying it shrinks blood vessels. This reduces puffiness and tightens the skin surface immediately. Vaseline, on the other hand, acts as an occlusive agent. It creates a seal. So, the coffee tightens and the Vaseline locks that tightness in place. But today, we are going to add a third player to the mix to target specific problems. Depending on what your skin needs right now, we're going to add either yeast or cornstarch. I know, it sounds like we are baking a cake, but stay with me. Yeast is rich in B vitamins, specifically niacinamide equivalents, which are essential for cell regeneration and plumping hollow areas. Cornstarch? It acts like a natural tensor. Think of it as a protein web that dries on your face to physically lift sagging areas like the jawline. We are going to make both. But first, we need to talk about the quality of your ingredients. Because I see people making a dangerous mistake here that can actually damage their skin. When I say coffee, I need you to use instant coffee. Do not use ground coffee beans from your machine. Ground beans, even the fine ones, are jagged shards of glass under a microscope. If you rub those into mature skin, you create micro tears. That leads to inflammation, which is the opposite of what we want. Instant coffee is water soluble. It dissolves completely. That is what makes this safe. For the Vaseline, any brand of 100% white petroleum works. You don't need the expensive scented ones. In fact, the plain, boring stuff is better because it has fewer irritants. Now, let's get into the activation phase. This is the step that 90% of people skip, and it's why their masks fail. We need to create a lipid infusion. Take a tablespoon of Vaseline and put it in a small glass bowl. Now, we are not going to microwave this. Microwaving creates hot spots that can degrade the texture of the jelly. We want a slow, gentle melt. Place your small bowl inside a larger bowl filled with boiling water. Let it sit there. Don't touch it yet. Just watch it. You will see the edges start to turn clear first. While that is melting, let's prep the caffeine concentrate. In a separate bowl, take 1 tablespoon of your instant coffee. Add 2 tablespoons of warm water. Stir this patiently. You don't want any granules left at the bottom. You want a dark, thick syrup. This syrup is pure, concentrated antioxidant power. Check your Vaseline. Is it completely liquid? It should look like clear oil. If there is still a lump in the middle, give it another minute. Okay, now we are ready to build the eye rescue complex. This is the specific blend for the delicate eye area. We treat this area differently because the skin here is 10 times thinner than the rest of your face. It doesn't have oil glands, which is why it wrinkles first. To your dark coffee syrup, add your secret weapon, instant dry yeast. You need about 1/4 teaspoon, not a lot. Whisk the yeast into the coffee until it dissolves. Now, you might be wondering, why yeast for my eyes? Here is the science. Yeast stimulates metabolic activity in the skin cells. When you have dark circles, It's often because of stagnant blood pooling under the skin. The yeast, combined with the caffeine, forces that blood to move. It's a wake-up call for your under eyes. Once that is mixed, take 1 teaspoon of your melted liquid Vaseline and pour it in. Now act fast. You have about 30 seconds before the Vaseline starts to set. You need to whip this mixture vigorously. As you whip it, you will see a transformation. It will stop looking like oil and water and start looking like a creamy beige emulsion. It should remind you of a light chocolate mousse. If it separates, you didn't whip it fast enough. If that happens, just put the bowl back over the warm water for a few seconds and try again. Now, let's talk about application technique. Most people just slap cream on and hope for the best. But since we are here to get professional results, we are going to use a technique called the piano tap. Take a tiny amount of the cream on your ring finger. Why the ring finger? Because it has the weakest muscle connection in your hand, so you physically cannot press too hard. Start at the outer corner of your eye on the bone, not the soft tissue, the bone. Lightly tap inwards towards your nose. Tap, tap, tap. Then go up under the brow bone and tap outwards. You are making a full circle around the orbital bone. Do not drag the skin. Dragging creates wrinkles. Tapping stimulates drainage. Do this for about 60 seconds on each eye. You might feel a slight warmth or tingling. That is the caffeine constricting the capillaries. That means it's working. Leave that on. Let it sink in. Now we move to the heavy hitter, the structural lift mask. This is for the jawline, the nasolabial folds, and the forehead. Grab a clean bowl. Add 1 tablespoon of instant coffee and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Mix the dry powders together first. This is crucial. If you add water to cornstarch without mixing it with the coffee first, you get clumps that are impossible to smooth out. Once the powders are blended, add warm water slowly. I mean, literally drop by drop. You are looking for a very specific consistency. We call it the honey texture. If it's too runny, it will drip down your neck and it won't dry tight enough to lift. If it's too thick, it will crack immediately. Add water. Stir, add a drop more, stir. When it falls off the spoon in a slow, thick ribbon, stop. Now, add the rest of your melted Vaseline to this mixture. And if you have very dry skin, this is the moment to add a customized booster. You can add 3 drops of vitamin E oil or half a teaspoon of olive oil here. This prevents the cornstarch from drying out your skin too much. Whip it all together until it is glossy. Now we apply. And strictly, we apply against gravity. I want you to imagine you are painting your face into the position you want it to stay in. Start at the center of your chin. Using a flat brush or your fingers, sweep the mask firmly upwards along the jawline towards your earlobe. Do that 3 times. Chin to ear. Chin to ear. Next, start at the corner of your mouth. Sweep upwards underneath your cheekbone towards the top of your ear. This targets those marionette lines. Finally, the forehead. Start at the eyebrows and sweep straight up towards the hairline. Once your face is covered, here is the hardest part of the entire routine. You must not speak. I'm serious. For the next 20 minutes, you need to be a statue. As the cornstarch dries, it forms a rigid lattice on your skin. It is physically holding your skin in that lifted position. If you talk or laugh or eat, you will crack that lattice. If the mask cracks, you lose the tension. So lie down, close your eyes, listen to a podcast. Give yourself permission to do absolutely nothing for 20 minutes. You will feel a sensation of intense tightening. It might even feel a little itchy as it dries. That is normal. That is the tensor effect. Now, let's fast forward 20 minutes. The mask is dry. You can't move your face. It's time to take it off. Please, do not just attack your face with a washcloth. The mask is hard now. If you scrub it, you are scrubbing sandpaper on your delicate skin. We need to use the soak and release method. Splash your face with warm water 5 or 6 times. Don't touch it yet. Just let the water soften the starch. Once you feel the mask turning back into a jelly, then, and only then, take a soft microfiber cloth, dip it in warm water, and gently wipe away. Use circular motions. The coffee will provide a very mild exfoliation here, buffing away dead skin cells to reveal the fresh skin underneath. Rinse until the water runs clear. Now go to the mirror. Do not dry your face completely. Leave it slightly damp. Look at your skin. You should notice 3 things immediately. First, the glow. The caffeine has stimulated blood flow, so your skin will look rosy and alive, not gray and tired. Second, the blur. The hydration from the Vaseline has plumped up the top layer of the epidermis, making fine lines look much softer. And third, the lift. Your skin will feel tighter, firmer, specifically around the jawline where we use the cornstarch. But we aren't done yet. We need to seal this result. Because we used warm water, your pores are currently open. We need to close them. Splash your face once with cold water, as cold as you can stand. This shocks the pores into closing and locks in that moisture. Pat dry and immediately apply your favorite moisturizer. Since we just did a heavy treatment, keep it simple. A basic peptide cream or even just a tiny dab of fresh Vaseline is perfect here. Now, a few safety notes because I want you to love these results without any issues. This is a powerful mask. The caffeine is a stimulant. If you have rosacea or extremely sensitive skin that gets red easily, do a patch test first. Put a little bit of the mixture behind your ear and wait 20 minutes. If it burns, this isn't for you. Also, frequency matters. The eye rescue with the yeast. You can do that 2 or even 3 times a week. It's gentle, but the structural lift with the cornstarch, that is a heavy-duty treatment. Only do that once a week. Maybe save it for a Friday night or before a special event. If you do it too often, the cornstarch can be drying. And finally, storage. Can you save the leftovers? For the coffee and Vaseline base? Yes, you can keep it in a small airtight container in the fridge for up to a week. But if you added the yeast or the cornstarch, no, those ingredients become active when wet. They will spoil if you try to keep them. So mix fresh every time. It only takes a few minutes and your skin deserves fresh ingredients. So there you have it. The secret to turning a $2 jar of Vaseline and some kitchen coffee into a high-end spa treatment. It's simple, it's backed by basic chemistry, and most importantly, it works. I want you to try this tonight. And then, I want you to come back to this video and leave a comment. Tell me how your skin felt. Did you feel the tightening? Did you see the glow? I read every single comment, and I can't wait to hear your story. If you found this guide helpful, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing. It helps me continue to research and bring you these hidden gems. Here is to aging gracefully and smart. I'll see you in the next video.